I'd next like to welcome editorial board member Joe Rago, who joins me to talk about President Obama's extraordinary speech, a kind of a primal scream. Joe, welcome.
Hey, Mary.
So I think we've got a clip of this speech for our audience out there. Let's put this up first, just to give our listeners some context.
It is a Trojan horse. Disguised as deficit reduction plans, it is really an attempt to impose a radical vision on our country. It is thinly veiled social Darwinism. It is antithetical to our entire history as a land of opportunity and upward mobility for everybody who's willing to work for it.
Okay, so that was President Obama talking about House Budget Chair Paul Ryan's recently issued budget proposal. Now, Joe, Trojan horse, social Darwinism. Right. What is this president so worried about?
Well, I mean, look, he's trying to frame the debate between two visions, but we called it dishonest in an editorial today, and it really was. You know, he calls it, you know, all but anti-American, antithetical to our entire history and values. But he doesn't. It's not. He can't take on what Paul Ryan and the House Republicans are proposing honestly.
What are they actually proposing to do?
Well, so you block grant Medicaid to the states, move towards premium support for Medicare.
Meaning
everyone would receive a subsidy.
Got it.
All seniors would receive a subsidy to choose from a menu of competing private options.
Okay, so this is the entitlement part of the Paul Ryan budget.
Right, and then
reform part.
Slow the growth rate of discretionary spending from 20% or more, however much it's increased in the last 3 years. But so Obama's talking about all this stuff. You know, we're going to have to stop funding cancer research. We're going to close the national parks, shut down the air traffic control system. None of these things are in there. It's not hard to find the Republican budget. It's on the website. I'm sure he can get a copy of it if he wanted to take a look at what they're actually proposing.
Joe, aren't some of these ideas Democratic ideas? For example, premium support?
Right. I mean, premium support has a long lineage among sort of the new Democrats, the Clinton Democrats. President Clinton's Medicare Commission, chaired by John Breaux in the late 1990s, supported this. It was developed by the Stanford economist Elaine Enthoven in the 1970s, not known as a right-wing radical. It's very similar to the Federal Employees Health Benefits Program, which covers all federal workers. A lot of universities use the same principles. CalPERS,
Got it. A lot of people, a lot of Democrats.
Right.
Okay.
But the idea that this is some radical change is really, you can say that, but it wouldn't be true.
So, Joe, so the president isn't just attacking the entitlement reform part of Paul Ryan's budget. What else did he talk about in the speech yesterday, and did he employ similar kind of scare tactics?
Yeah, I mean, he's seeming to indicate that the status quo is still an option, that we can continue on the course that we're on of, you know, multi-trillion-dollar deficits, huge growing burden of the national debt, and he's really showing himself to be outside the mainstream. You know, a lot of bipartisan groups have come to the conclusion that, gee whiz, we need to do something about our fiscal crisis.
We're talking to Wall Street Journal editorial board member Joe Rago about the president's speech on Paul Ryan's budget proposal. Well, the president's budget didn't get a great reception in Congress, did it?
No.
Okay.
Actually, resoundingly rejected, including by his own party.
Okay, so the president, I'm sorry, this was the guy who got up in the campaign and said there's no red America, there's no blue America, I'm going to be the guy that brings everybody together,
right.
The great conciliator.
The hope and change uplift of 2008.
Right. So what does this speech tell us about the way that he practices politics? And is this something that is just kind of special to the campaign period? Or is this the kind of politics that he's been practicing for a long time?
Well, look, we know he doesn't have anything to run on for re-election because all of his signature achievements are unpopular or failures. You know, whether it's the stimulus jobs, healthcare, green energy, financial re-regulation, sort of the whole mess of liberal priorities that have dominated the last 3 years. These are not very good re-election themes for the president. So he needs to change the subject to how terrible the Republicans are and how they want to, leave grandma in a snowbank. But it's sort of, he's conceding that that's all he has. The ammunition is gone.
So it sounds like Alinsky's rules for radicals, you demagogue your opposition and you rip them down. You don't address what the actual facts are. Real quick, Joe, because we only got about 20 seconds left. Have the Republicans responded to any significant degree yet? Do you expect them to soon?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're still reeling a little bit, but the Budget Committee and others have put out very detailed and data-driven refutations of what the president said yesterday. So
we'll have to keep following the editorial page also and keep reading about it. Joe Rago, Wall Street Journal editorial page. Thanks for being with us.